Evening all, Remarks here, back again with another video, back again with another Oculus Go video. Now in this video I'm going to be answering the question that I'm getting asked a lot at the moment. Is the Oculus Go still worth it? Is it still viable? Should people still care about it? Given that we've got the Oculus Rift S and the Oculus Quest coming out, you know, does the Oculus Go still have a place? Well, yes it does, absolutely, and I'm going to tell you why. Welcome back. Now ask yourself this question. Oculus are going to release the Oculus Go, the Quest and the Rift S. Do you think they expect everybody to buy all three headsets? No, they don't. What they're after is market coverage. They want to get as many headsets out there, get as many people as they possibly can into VR. And not everybody is the same. Now, maybe you and I will buy all three headsets because we're into VR, we're dedicated to it, we're into it, we buy into it, we enjoy it, we know what it offers, and we know what it can do, and we want the best, so we'll probably buy all three headsets. But there are a lot of people out there that each of those headsets will cater to their specific needs. So not everybody is like you, not everybody is like me. You've got to remember there are lots of different types of people out there in the world. Not everybody wants the same sort of thing, and that's where the three different headsets come in. And it's smart of Oculus to do this. So the Oculus Go, for example, is the cheapest headset out of all of them. It is half the price of the other two. The Oculus Go starts at $200 and the other two headsets start at $400. And if you get the Rift, you do need a PC to go with it. And price is really, really important. There are a lot of people out there that just don't have the money for big VR headsets. The difference between $200 and $400 for some people is a massive difference, you know, and you know, they still want to get some VR. Maybe they want to kind of do some VR in the meantime, while they still save up for the more expensive headsets or something like that they can still enjoy VR for a couple of $100s with the Oculus Go. Now obviously it doesn't have 6 degrees of freedom like the Oculus Quest and Rift, which means you can kind of move around and duck and jump in the rooms and stuff like that, and you have two controllers. But remember, not everybody needs that either. There are a lot of people out there that just want to sit back, chill out and just watch some VR, whether that's just watching Netflix on an 80-inch screen, watching a film streamed from your PC on a massive cinema screen, watching films and content that you load straight to it. You know, people want to just kind of sit back and enjoy. You know, not everybody has maybe the best TV. This is cheaper than an 80-inch TV by a long shot. So you've got to remember that those people out there that just want to do that. You've got to remember there are people that are less mobile, less physically able to be moving around, to be standing up all the time, to be doing sort of big VR games. Using just the one controller just to almost point your way through is a massive advantage for some people, and not everybody wants that 6 degrees of freedom. Your average consumer isn't concerned about pixel per eye, field of view, what sort of screen is used inside the headset. It's not important to them. I mean, for some people like you and I, potentially, yeah, we want to know that. We want to get the best and the best experience, and we know the difference. But for a lot of people, for the mass market, they don't know, they don't care, they don't understand, and why should they? As long as it works, as long as it's simple and does the job, that's the best thing for them, to get them in using VR. I hear the comment a lot with the Oculus Go that people are saying, well, where's the new games, apps and experiences? Where's all the new content? Why aren't Oculus working on new games for the Oculus Go? Well, that's because you've got to kind of see the Oculus Go slightly differently to the other headsets. The content that is being pumped out by the 1,000 each day is all the VR video content. So all the 360 3D, the VR 180 stuff, those things on say YouTube and Veer and stuff like that, they're pumping out those new things all the time. That's a lot of content. You can watch your normal 2D stuff, that's content for your Oculus Go. So don't see just games and apps. I mean, they are coming, they are getting released, but don't just see those as content. Content for your Oculus Go is all of that video content that's being worked on, all those media apps that are sharing new stuff, like Amaze. They put out VR 180 sort of TV programs, you know, sort of episode based stuff. That's amazing, that's worth checking out. I mean, Veer.tv is obviously a sponsor of this channel occasionally, and their platform's great. You can upload your own stuff to it, and there's a ton of stuff on there worth checking out. The content available for the Oculus Go is a lot bigger than a lot of people realise, and I think the only people who don't appreciate that are maybe those people that do want that other headset, which is fine. everyone's different. And it's always been said that the Oculus Go is mainly aimed at media, which is true. So sort of they say 80% media, 20% games. The Oculus Go does have a load of cool games on it as well that you should check out. So like virtual reality, Thumper, Slightly Heroes, Beatron 2000. It's got a great selection of games and apps that you can play. But just because they say that it's 80% media, 20% games, doesn't mean there aren't games on there. You just kind of set your expectations. For $200, you get quite a lot of value out of an Oculus Go. Now, why would you buy the Oculus Quest over the Oculus Go? Well, the simple answer to that is if you wanted those bigger sort of VR games, those dual controller games where you can duck and move, then it's going to be the easiest option to get. You don't need a PC to go with it. You're almost getting that PC experience, but with slightly pared down graphics and that sort of thing, but no sensors to set up. It's all built in. You get your two controllers and you can kind of go away. I imagine because it's built on the same sort of platform as the Oculus Go, so an Android based platform, that hopefully we will probably see some sort of trickle down of Quest content to Oculus Go content, because hopefully, you know, it's just a case of kind of down resing and doing some other tweaks to make it sort of compatible for the Oculus Go. Now, we'll never have two controllers with the Oculus Go. I pretty much guarantee that won't happen, but I'm sure there'll be occasions where they bring games out on the Oculus Quest, and in all honesty, could you use just one controller? Maybe you could. Maybe they can bring it down to the Oculus Go. So I think it's a positive thing for Oculus Go gamers the Quest is coming out, because there will hopefully be that little trickle down. They may be saying, okay, well maybe the Oculus Quest can do the same things that the Oculus Go can as well, so all the same media apps and experiences. Yeah, that's probably true, but do you need two controllers to be sat down watching some media? If that's your main sort of aim with VR, then the Oculus Go is probably the preferred option for that. But if you want the added benefit of, you know, full VR gaming, then you're going to have to pay for it 2 times the price. And you got to kind of remember as well, with the Oculus Quest having two controllers and it has a slightly stiffer headband, it'll be a little bit less portable than the Oculus Go. So the Oculus Go you can take off, you can squash it strapped down. This is a VR cover strap, but it still squashes down. That's the whole package. There's the controller on top. That's everything. That's the whole Oculus Go sort of setup. If you want a power cable, you can chuck one of those in your bag as well, but you're sorted. With the Oculus Quest, the head strap is a little stiffer, so it doesn't fold down as much. You're probably going to have to kind of still keep it out. I've not touched a head strap yet, so it'll be interesting to sort of see how flexible it really is. But you have those two controllers you're going to have to look after, so they're going to have to take up room in your bag. And if you've seen the controllers, they have the big loop on them, so they're not small controllers. They're not little diddy things like this, so you're going to have more room in your bag. And there's another big demographic of people that will use this headset, and that's people who are in the kind of industry of VR content creation, or sort of sharing VR content at events or in education and learning and that sort of thing, where the Oculus Go, with its kind of technically more limited control system, makes it more convenient and cost effective to get twice as many Oculus Go's than it does to get the Quest, because the Quest doesn't really add anything. If you're showing sort of VR content, videos, 360 videos, VR 180 videos or that sort of thing, or some interactive learning apps and stuff, you don't need those two controllers. You don't need that 6 degrees of freedom tracking. The Oculus Go will do all that you need it to do, and you can buy twice as many of them as you can the Quest, so it'll still have a massive sort of feature there. I do know they're looking to bring out an official kiosk mode, which means it'll lock the Oculus Go down to sort of certain apps or games or experiences, so you can kind of use it a bit more sort of to demo stuff without kind of people getting out into the menu and stuff like that. So it'll be good once that gets released. But the Oculus Go is perfect for those people. So from an enterprise point of view, it's got a lot of value out there, and a lot of people do use it. I've seen pictures where people have got 40 Oculus Go's out ready to do with classes and schools and stuff like that. So it's interesting to kind of see that sort of thing develop. And I don't think the Oculus Quest will ever get to that point for that sort of thing, so that's where the Oculus Go comes in as well. Now, why would you get the Oculus Rift S over the Oculus Go? Well, I think that kind of answers itself, because if you've got a PC already that's capable of PC VR gaming, you want the best quality graphics and sort of gameplay, then it's always going to be PC VR, because it hooks straight into the PC, it uses all that power of that gaming PC to deliver that experience for you, which even the Oculus Quest won't do, because the Oculus Quest will be able to deliver PC VR-like experiences, but the graphics and sort of a lot of sort of the in-game sort of assets and that sort of thing will have to be downscaled to make them work on the mobile headset, because the Oculus Quest just uses sort of bigger, more powerful versions of what's inside the Oculus Go. So you've got to bear that in mind. So the Oculus Rift S will have that place there. It uses the same sort of controllers, uses the same sort of tracking the Oculus Quest does, so it tracks its own position. So you don't have to set up sensors, which is nice. It's one of the reasons why I don't use my current Rift very often. It's because I have to get the sensors out every time I want to use it. With the Oculus Rift S, I don't have to. But I do have a PC for it, so I personally will be picking up a Rift S as well, because I think it will add a lot to my kind of VR experience. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be on there that'll just be a lot better. You don't have to worry about batteries, because both the Oculus Go and the Oculus Quest will have a built-in battery. We're not 100% sure how long the battery will last in the Oculus Quest, but I can't imagine it'd be much longer than the Oculus Go. Maybe another half an hour, maybe another hour. But it does have USB-C on the Oculus Quest, so that should enable sort of fast charging when you're playing. So even if you're playing those high intensity games, you sucking up a lot of battery, you could probably have a battery pack just put into your pocket or something, so you can carry on playing for hours. And the Oculus Go is kind of similar. You can have it plugged in while you're using it. There's no reason why not. The only reason why they suggest don't is because there might be a wire around and you may get yourself caught up in it sort of thing and hurt yourself with the wire. But if you're sensible, plug it in and use it. It's absolutely fine. But obviously with the Oculus Rift S, you don't have to worry about batteries. It's plugged straight into your PC. That's where it draws its power from, and you can go as long as you can afford the electricity for it. Let's have a little look at the websites for each of these. So this is the Oculus Go website. I always wonder why on this one I have to scroll all the way down here to see a picture of the Oculus Go. You go literally halfway down the page before you actually see an Oculus Go. Seems a little bit weird. Can we not have a picture up here, Oculus? I think that would be quite nice. But you can kind of see. So here it starts at $200 or $250 for the larger one. So that keeps it well below either the sort of other two headsets, the Quest and the Rift. And they do advertise it on here as being more for media, but it does have lots of games, lots of apps. You can kind of see the stuff here. They're kind of highlighting a lot of the social stuff. For picking up and just going to social rooms, whether that's sort of big screen or Plex or Facebook or Oculus Rooms, you can join other people easily and cost effectively on your headset. And it works a lot with a lot of Gear VR stuff as well. So if people have got Gear VR, it works with that as well. So it's quite nice. Oh look, we've got one of my videos on here. That's an old one from November. I need to update that, Oculus. Come on, put a new one on there. And yeah, so they're advertising a lot of sort of the media stuff, and then sort of the accessories and stuff you can buy sort of down below. The mobile app's useful. If you haven't downloaded or you don't use the mobile app often, make sure you log into that and have a little look. And there we go. So the Oculus Quest is probably the closest kind of rival to the Oculus Go. People are very excited for the Oculus Quest, but I think that there's a place for both of them absolutely within the marketplace. So the idea here is no PC, no wires, no limits, and they're kind of advertising it as being PC-like gaming, but without wires. So you can see these controllers will be a lot bigger than the Oculus Go controllers. So you've got to remember, you've got to kind of keep hold of these. And look, we do get a nice big picture of the Oculus Quest right up front. So yeah, we'd like that on the Oculus Go page as well, please. They're advertising more gaming, so they're kind of pushing, look, it's a game when you are. Make your move. So you can sort of see here, you need a lot more space to make best use of your Oculus Quest. So only get it if you've got sort of 6 foot or more square space to be able to make good use of that headset. Because if you're going to be just sat down sort of watching media with it, then you're kind of wasting half your money really. You're not going to get much more out of it. But if you kind of do have the space for games, absolutely. So yeah, here we go. Lots of different spaces, lots of different places you can go to. That's a nice big picture of the Oculus Quest. We do know that it's coming spring 2019, so I'd expect it within the next couple of months. It's going to be $399 for the base 64 gig model, and we know that there's going to be a 128 gig model at the very least, but we don't know 100% on price yet. So I would put money on it being $499 for the bigger one, but we'll have to keep an eye out for that one and see what we're seeing. If we switch over to the Rift S, so this newly got announced the other day. So now this is the Oculus Rift, which is the PC wired headset, being replaced with this one, which is kind of like an incremental update, not sort of a next generation almost, but just kind of updating some of the features. And they're adding the same sort of tracking system. So the Oculus Quest tracks where it is with cameras all over it. It's got that same sort of tracking, so you don't need external sensors set up all the time. So that's always my biggest issue with the Rift, is I just can't use it that often because I don't have the room to keep the sensors up all the time. So once again, you get the same sort of controllers, so they're bigger controllers. The headset is wired and comes off to your PC, so you do need a PC to go with the Rift, whereas the Quest you don't, and the Oculus Go you don't. And then it absolutely is geared towards high-end PC VR gaming. As you can kind of see, that it's got bigger, stiffer headbands, so that's going to be massively less portable than either of the other two headsets. But it would hopefully be more comfortable because it'd be more secure on your head. You've got the same sort of controllers, and you can test you can even test this sort of program here to give your PC a test to see if it can actually run PC VR games. So you can sign up for them. So we know that's going to be a default price of $399. They don't do different versions of that because your memory is based on your PC memory, so you don't need onboard memory for that one. So as you can see, I think there's a great sort of market to kind of have all three headsets out there hitting different types of people, because not everybody has the same VR requirements. So just because you like one thing or you want a certain thing from VR, there are a lot of people that don't, or people that just want to get into VR, want to try it, see if it's okay for them, just want to watch media, or maybe they want to play games or little games or big games or whatever. There's going to be a headset that works for each of those different sort of sets of people. And the great thing that Oculus are doing, and Facebook and that, is they're just making it accessible. They're just opening the door and they're just trying to make it as cheap, easy and straightforward to people to get as many people as possible into VR, because mass adoption is where the big leaps come. So once everyone's sort of into VR, they understand it, they enjoy it, that they can put more money into it and develop the next level systems, the more sort of advanced stuff, the eye tracking, the hand tracking, different tracking systems for everything, and just improve those experiences for all of us. So I know some people will be upset that they say the Oculus Rift S, for example, doesn't have the sensors, so maybe it can't track the controllers as well as it does now. But for 90% of people, it's going to be perfect. And when you're comparing the Oculus Go to the Oculus Quest, for example, you've got to remember there are different people that want different things, and there is a massive market. They already sold over 500,000 over Christmas. I don't know how many they've sold overall, but there's a lot of Oculus Go headsets out there. So there will be people that will cut their teeth on developing for the Oculus Go because they know they could potentially upscale their game to the Oculus Quest. So I think we'll see some sort of development that way as well, where people sort of develop their games. I know there are people that have got games on the Oculus Go already that are talking about bringing their games to the Oculus Quest. Now Oculus are being quite strict on sort of the quality of the stuff that comes through for the Quest, but once again that's a positive for the Go, because if they can't get it on the Quest, maybe they'll downscale it a little bit and bring it to the Go. Now, I don't want to worry about us getting loads of rubbish and loads of crap on the Oculus Go. I think it's fun to kind of see the things on there. You don't need to buy everything that comes on it, but if one out of every 30, 40 things is worth your time and money, then that's bonus for us. And there'll always be people that want to try out different things, and it's the developers that get to cut their teeth and try new things on a platform that's well supported that will gain the confidence and experience to create those bigger, better experiences. And for you, once you get comfortable with the Oculus Go, for example, and you move to a Quest, maybe then you'll feel you want to move to the PC VR and get yourself a Rift S. And that's kind of where you also get that as well. So you get that kind of progression of VR. So you start with your Oculus Go, you see whether you like it, you get comfortable with it, and then you can move on to the Quest, then you can move on to the Rift, then you can move on to something else, And it's great that there's that upgrade path. So for $1,000, I guess, you can get all three headsets, but it's kind of upgrading yourself as and when you're ready sort of thing. And I think that's the smart thing that Oculus has done as well. They've kind of enabled people to kind of test it out, see if they like it, and progress. So as a closing thought, I just want to kind of say, just remember that not everybody has the same VR needs or interest in VR that you do. But hopefully our sort of joined up enthusiasm for VR, sort of my channel, everyone else's channel, you talking to your friends and family and stuff about it, will just get more and more people excited about VR, which then will lead to bigger and better sort of updates and changes and just a more immersive, potentially Ready Player One-like experience in the future. So, it's up to us to not be negative on each of the headsets, be positive about them, shout about their features, their pros, and why you should buy them, not why you shouldn't, because they are for very different people, and it just gives everyone a chance to try out VR. And at the end of the day, that's what's important, spreading the good word of VR and getting more people trying it. I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this topic, so make sure you leave your comments down below. I do read and sort of comment on pretty much every single one that's made, so I'll be interested to read those. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. That's fine, I'm big enough and good enough to take it, but do let me know in the comments down below why you didn't like it. I try and do better for next time. Become one of the Remarkables, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified when I next upload a video. And that's me done. I'm out. Have a virtual high five.